Good afternoon. Good to be back. Week 16. We're almost done, guys. So our app is a penny saved. And basically what this is an app to track your eating out expenses. Allows you to see how you compare to sort of the population at large. So team members, Maike, Aaron. Aaron's not here. You'll see him on a video. But he had to be with his brother's graduation up in upstate New York. And James, and I'm Greg. So I'm going to turn this over to James, and he's going to continue going over the app.
Okay, so I'm going to go over the concept of our app. We came up with an idea that if people visually saw how much they spend eating out on food, that they would be more disciplined to stop eating out as much. Users can have a quick and easy way to save some money by tracking how much money they've spent on eating out. And users can compare with others on how much they've spent eating out on average. And this is our design process. We originally sketched out what our web page will look like on paper, which you can see on the right, and mapping out the front end and back end to work together in order to visualize the data. And we use similar websites that track your budget for inspiration. And the motivation for the development, we noticed that we spend a lot of money eating out, but we're never quite sure exactly how much. In fact, according to Bloomberg.com, sales at restaurants and bars overtook spending at grocery stores for the first time ever. It's the graph just showing that. And quick fact is the average American family spends $225 a month eating away from home, and this includes quick snacks, restaurants, coffee, and etc. And these are just all the different technologies that we used. And Aaron couldn't be here today, but he sent a quick video. I'm going to play it.
Hey guys, sorry I couldn't make it. I'm actually in Rochester, New York right now for my brother's graduation, so I had to travel with the family, but I just really quickly want to walk through some of the front-end features that I worked on. Thanks. Overall, our aesthetic aimed to be clean and simple. A penny saved is all about visualizing data, so we went with a minimal interface that allowed our charts to really pop and draw the user's attention. To accomplish this, we used AMCharts, a great site that helped us make interactive, elegant representations of the user and aggregate data that lives in our backend database. And to lay out the site, we used Materialize CSS, which is a similar framework to Bootstrap in that it works on a row and column.
Okay. And I'm going to hand it over to Maike for the live demo.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys a little bit about how our website works and how the functionality goes. Could you hold the mic for me? Thank you so much. So I'm going to log in as myself. Okay, so you can see that I've logged in as myself, and it shows the average costs of my meals over the last 30 days. So right now the automatic time span is 30 days, but I can also change it if I choose to some other time period, and it'll automatically update it. So this is my meals over the past 60 days, for example, and I can see that on average in the last 60 days I spent $260 on snacks, $478 on breakfast, $7.99 on lunch, and $11.61 on dinner. I can compare that with all of the users and the total meal costs over the last 60 days. And going on, you can see so all the different places that I visited. I really like the deli, visited that 7 times. Wendy's, I visited that a lot too, and see all the different places that I've been to and how often. And I can compare that to the restaurants that everyone who uses the site has also visited and how often they visited that. There's also a nice visualization of what I spent on my meals over the last 60 days. So here you can see a graph of over time of the cost of my meals. So when you scroll over the graph, you can see on May 2nd, I spent $12.99 on my lunch, and it'll also split it up. So like on May 10th, I spent some money on lunch, some money on breakfast, and at the top, it's kind of a sum total graph. So the top bar will line up with how much in total I spent on meals on that day. So that's kind of how you read the graph, and then you compare that with the average users spending over the last 60 days, and that's based on what was put in by the other users of the site. You can add another entry of food. So let's say I went to Dairy Queen and I had a shake for $1.99, and this nice date picker here, so you can go and scroll down through different months. Let's say I went on the 26th of April and it was a snack. I can add that meal and it'll automatically update the graphs that are there, and you can see that should pop up on April 26th that I went and I got a snack, and that also updated in our overall average users information as well. So some nice things, some nice features I think that are a part of it is if I just try to register, as someone with a name, it won't let you because we want you to register with an email. We'd like your email information for future use to kind of email people some information and some validation of the information that you're trying to log in with. Okay. Going back to our presentation. Thanks. Yeah. Just going to skip over the video. Okay. So I worked a lot on, thank you very much. I worked a lot on serving the graphs. So basically the information that the graphs required and all the data that they needed in order to present them and visualize them in a nice way. I worked on doing the logic on both ends, on the back end and front end for that. So this is an API route, a post route where you get the SQL table model with the information from our MySQL database. It parses that information, to make sure that it's only the user's data that you're seeing if you are asking for just that user data. It's during the time frame that's requested, and that it returns this nice object back to the front end, which is where the charts get built. So you put it into this format that AMChart likes so that you can actually generate the graph. I'll turn it over to Greg.
Okay, so I got involved in both ends, did a lot of the jQuery and the routing on the back end. We basically have, you can see, I also did some test-driven development, at least tried to. It was a little tricky, wasn't very familiar with it, but I gave it a good shot. On the front end, we render everything using jQuery, and we have a lot of click listeners, and we're kind of manipulating our front end through what comes back from the server. So you notice that it does update in real time when we change the time frame, and that's all just based on a function that we just keep calling, and every time we go to the server, it comes back, then we're going to update and refresh the page, and that just happens on the fly. The API routes, basically we have a number of routes that will validate the user, bring back data, allow for additions to the MySQL database. That's all through a Sequelize model. And you can see up at the top, I was able to get a fave icon, part of the CEO efforts, and of course we're using meta tags and title, and there's our Woo rank, which is nothing to be too thrilled about, but it's something we can improve in the future. So future development, what I think one of the things we're looking to do is to validate or to authorize our users using LinkedIn or Facebook. And of course, we really do need a way for users to edit the information, the records in the table. We don't have that yet. I'm going to turn this over to James, Maike.
Okay. And some other things is we kind of want to incentivize people to spend less on eating out overall. So if there's some sort of point system for, beating some averages or beating your personal averages in the past, then you can maybe partner up with different sites and claim those for rewards. So that'd be a really interesting tie-in, I think. And then implementing food recipes and cookbooks. So that kind of lends itself nicely to that other app that was created that was spoken of earlier. I think that would be really nice. And like before, implementing challenges so that users can have more incentive to use the app. And I think with that, thank you so much.